The Gauteng High Court has granted the Special Investigating Unit a preservation order to freeze 5 properties linked to its National Lotteries Commission investigation. The unit spokesperson, Kaizer Kganyago, now joins us virtually from Centurion for more details. Kaizer, thank you so much for your time this evening, as always. Now, this is an ongoing probe or investigation into alleged fraud and corruption at the National Lotteries Commission, and it seems to be moving thick and fast. We had some developments last year and now this. In as much as you can't give too many details, the preservation order to freeze a plot, a farm and 3 luxury properties. Can you give us an idea of what that's valued at and how you got to this point that you could finally make a move on these specific properties?
Thank you very much, and thank you to your viewers. It is one of those investigations that has got stages that when we do our work, and we are looking at about 17,000 grant funding that was done, and therefore these are some of those that we found, and we were able to trace the money. And with the 5 that we have were freezed now, the value is about 56.3 million rand that has been spent from the lotteries fund to buy these luxury houses and a plot and a farm. Therefore, this is the kind of amount that we are talking about in this particular instance.
You can let me know if you are able to speak publicly about who's connected to these properties. From what I understand from the reporting that's been done so far, most particularly it involves people who actually worked for the National Lotteries Commission. Their legal representative is linked to one of these luxury properties, as well as the former lotto boss's name is linked to one of those properties. And then, of course, from a celebrity perspective, well-known musician and record label owner Arthur Mofokate also connected to the luxury property in Midrand. Are you able to speak to us about those particular details? Because these are not small fry individuals involved here.
No, definitely. The one house that is in Cape Town belongs to the lawyer, or the former lawyer of the National Lotteries Commission, Mr. Ramalifo. And then there is a house which is also used as a lodge in Midrand that is belonging to Mr. Arthur Mofokate's company and himself and his trust. And then we have got former board member Huma, who had one of the plots there in Rustenburg. And then we had the former legal manager in the legal division, Mr. Tsietsi Maselwa, who is also involved, together with the former chairperson of the board of the Lottery Commission, and his wife. Therefore, those are the people that are involved here.
It must make for rather tragic or sad or frustrating reading as you and your team delve further into this investigation, because especially when you're dealing with corruption at the National Lotteries Commission, I mean, this is money that is put there specifically that's supposed to be spent on vetted NGOs who are actually doing work and community development. It's supposed to go to the people who need that money the most to try and make a better life for themselves and their communities. Seeing big names like this who are in no position really to be going with hat in hand and asking the Lotteries Commission for help. Are you getting the sense that this is just the tip of the iceberg and that the corruption runs much deeper?
No, definitely. We are having still a lot of properties that we are looking into, and so far we can see the modus operandi is the same, because they create NPOs, and those NPOs apply for work and for money at the National Lottery Commission, but most of the money doesn't go to the project. It goes to other people who then take it through their lawyers to go and buy houses. And that is the evidence that we're able to present before a judge, and that is why the judge was able to give us the freezing order as we requested. Therefore, that modus operandi continues. Therefore, as I said, we are looking at more of this funding, about 17,000 of them, and we think that we're going to find more of such kind of arrangements.
When it comes to the funding of grants, one knows that there is supposed to be checks and balances in place. First, in selecting the NGO for the grant, and then also making sure that they're spending the money on what they're supposed to be spending on. Are you able to speak about what kind of processes were put in place in the Lotteries Commission just to cover up the corruption even further? Because the granting of the money is one thing, but they then also need to show that it's actually being spent on community development or art programs, as the case may be with regard to this NGO set up by Arthur Mofokate. Are you able to give us an idea of just how intricate this corruption system was that was put in place in the Lotteries Commission?
No, it was intricate because when there are people that are within the system, they are able to understand the system in such a way that they then are able to make all these transfers. But you can clearly see that the systems are there. It's just a matter of going around them, and the processes were followed where people got the application and it was adjudicated as properly as it's supposed to be, and the money was given. But only to find that at the end, when the money is given, then these people who from the NPO, because they were created with them, they get approached, and then this money is then transferred through the lawyers who are conveyancers, who then buy these properties on their behalf and later on give those properties back to the trust. Because most of them are putting these monies in these properties in trusts so that they try and hide them.
Can you give us an idea of what happens next now? The seizure and freezing of assets is one thing. How much further do we have to go to see criminal charges actually being brought?
That part is already done. We have made reference to the NPA. Therefore, from our side, we then have to go to the next step in terms of making sure that all these people are given an opportunity to defend themselves. And then, because we want to now not only freeze them, but then they must forfeit these properties to the state, and we then have to sell them and then get this money back to the lottery.
Okay, we're going to leave it there. Spokesperson for the SIU, that's Kaizer Kganyago.